Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give our praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shad, Bahashem, HaRakah, HaKodash. And double honors to our apostles and elders at Great Millstone who taught us the truth. Well, shalom to you, Akim, to push the word across the four corners of this globe with our truth and sincerity, Bahashem, HaRakah, HaKodash. And this one got a quick lesson to mainly subject upon, how, what's going to get us through these times, is really, our works and our deeds through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahshai. And the Lord's going to look upon the, those things, and whether or not, that we be delivered. Because, like he says in 2 Corinthians chapter 9, that pretty much, him that, escaped by his works, shall be saved. I'm roughly paraphrasing. And really, in James chapter 2, where it talks about, faith is obsolete without works, man. Practically, man. You gotta put in the work of Yahweh Shem Yahshai. And by work, this ministry, if it's in the spirit, of you to go out to the highways and byways, you gotta take your ass out to the highways and byways, man. Push these videos, be a helper, and even being a helper, the scriptures tell you that even if you give a prophet a glass of water, cold water, so to speak, then that person shall indeed receive a prophet's reward. So it may not even be the spirit upon you to to convict you to even go out in the house and bodies, but yeah, you still believe wholeheartedly and you still support this truth, however you can, whatever your lot may be, to benefit this word, this truth, until, all hell break loose and then, and the Lord return. Hey, do it, man. Do it to the best of your capabilities, man. Speaking first to myself and to your brothers and sisters that may be listening. Because, time is short, and all hell is getting ready to break loose, at any time soon. So what can we do in the meantime? Continue to work, continue to build up that spiritual bank account, so to speak, like the apostles always be saying, we're building up that spiritual bank account, in that insurance, spiritual insurance company, man, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahshai. Because when all hell break loose, that's what we're gonna be, called upon, man. You get into an accident, right? You get into an accident, the first thing you do is, you exchange insurance information so that, your insurance can fucking cover your ass, right? In some cases you might end up getting a whole brand new fucking car, a way better car or whatever, that you had to begin with, because of the accident or whatever, The main point is that, our spiritual insurance is in Yahweh Shem Yahshai. The Lord gonna take care of us, man. Let me get a quick precept. 2 Ezra chapter 2. This is 2 Ezra chapter 2, verse 26. As for the servants whom I have given thee, there shall not one of them perish, for I will require them from among thy number. Be not worried, for when the day of trouble and heaviness cometh, others shall weep and be sorrowful, but thou shalt be merry and have abundance. The heathen shall envy thee, but they shall be able to do nothing against thee, said the Lord. My hand shall cover thee, so that thy children shall not see hell. So what does that mean? I'm saying, the servants of the Lord, those that's doing the work, those that's, doing the work diligently, I'm saying, the Lord's going to hear them. Yahweh Shemel is going to hear them, and they're the ones that's going to be, merry and having abundance, man. When all hell break loose in a time of chaos and destruction, man. Chaos and hopelessness amongst these fucking, people, these peons, these everyday fucking, Joe Schmoes, it's going to be times of great disparity, man. It's going to be fucking times of, fucking no more Chipotles, no more, access to your bank accounts, no more everyday, bullshit activities, no more walking your dog, no more going to work, no more going to school. It's going to be complete survival mode, like I Am Legend. Movies like I Am Legend, movies like Denzel, The Book of Eli, movies like The Road, survival, fucking cannibalism is at is on the rise. You gotta dodge fucking hoarders. Gangs are gonna be intensive evil men are gonna be grouped together in packs to raid, to grape, to rob. It's gonna be no more 911, no more, you know what I'm saying? No more society, man. No more order. It's straight survival, man. And I'm saying, if you ain't the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem outside, the Lord will have you, get caught up in this madness, man. It's literally gonna be a wilderness, man. But when you look at wildlife, I'm saying you seeing prey versus predator. And the preys are just always getting eating the fuck up. Predators, hey man, only the strong survive. But but those that fear Yahweh Shem outside are gonna be merry and having abundance, man. The Lord gonna turn those individuals into predators in the time being, man. And some of us may have to die, but you're gonna be first risen up alongside Yahweh Shah. I'm saying, when Yahweh Shah pulls up, man. And the Lord is not gonna let you, like die condemning death, man. The Spirit's gonna be upon you. I'm saying, to accept it, man. And you're not gonna be afraid, man. Like when you read the Spirit of the 7 brothers that got tortured, in the Maccabees, from just not eating pork, man. Not one of them was even afraid, even on down to the mother, man. The spirit of a woman, is definitely gonna be afraid in these times. Man, bacon is a fucking necessity amongst these peons, man. So, but those that's of the elect of Yahweh Shem Shai, the Lord is gonna hear them, man. Hey, look at the generations of old, man. And these are serious times we're approaching, man. These are real times that we're approaching. These are real times. Like, look what, this nigga Trump is doing, man. These are real times, man. So now's the time to work out your salvation, man. It's James chapter 2. I'm going to start at verse 14. What doth it profit, my brethren, though a man say he have faith and have not works, can faith save him? Yeah, man, you got a lot of those guys, man, that's not doing the work. Can faith save you, man? Can you just like, yeah, I believe, all right, bet, so prove it. You got to show your work, man. gotta show your work. You gotta prove to the Lord that you do believe. You can't just say you believe, man. You gotta show your work. Though a man say he have faith and have not works, can faith save him? If a brother or sister be naked and destitute of daily food, and one of you say unto them, depart in peace, be ye warmed and filled, notwithstanding you give them not those things which are needful to the body, what doth it profit? Even so faith, if it hath not works, is dead, being alone. Yea, a man may say, thou hast faith, and I have works. Show me thy faith without thy works, and I will show thee my faith by my works. So you're going to know if a man believe or not, man, by his works. You know what I'm saying? But, like, I can't tell if you believe because you ain't done nothing. You know what I'm saying? There's no track history of you doing anything. You know, you just claim you believe, okay. Okay, so go out in, you know what I'm saying, in the streets, or, you know what I'm saying, or, the byways, the hedges, the highways, make yourself a spectacle, make yourself look foolish before men, and preach his word. Preach unto these peons the future, their judgment, and preach salvation unto, Jake, as well as their judgment, man. Because the elect are going to take heed regardless, man. It's going to weed out the elect. Verse 17, even so faith that have not works is dead, being alone. Yea, a man may say thou hast faith, and I have works. Show me thy faith. Yeah, I'm going to go down a couple verses. Verse 19, thou believest that there is one power, thou do as well. The devils also believe and tremble. Yeah, man. Verse 20, but wilt thou know, O vain man, that faith without works is dead? Was not Abraham our father justified by works when he hath offered Isaac his son upon the altar? Yeah, man, so the Lord tried, he tried our forefathers, man. He tried Abraham by having him sacrifice, his only son upon the altar. And it wasn't until the Lord seen him do it, the Lord sent the angel, to have what was it, a goat or a sheep, in other words, the Lord stopped him, man, from actually doing it. He just wanted to see him do it, man, and he was about to do it. He was, man. Abraham was about to do it because he believed, man. He believed upon the Lord, man. And the Lord stopped him. And the Lord can do that, man. You keep just talking about, like, why the Lord, make him kill his own son? Hey, man, the Most High can do whatever the fuck you want to do, man. You know what I'm saying? At least he stopped him. Like, and like, however the Lord wanted to play out, if you know what I'm saying, like, hey, man, that's the Lord's business, man. You can't question what, you know what I'm saying, how the Lord run his business, man. Fuck. Verse 21, was not Abraham our father justified by works when he had offered Isaac his son upon the altar? Seest thou how faith wrought with his works, and by works was faith made perfect? Yeah, man. And the scripture was fulfilled, which saith Abraham believed the Most High, and it was imputed to him for righteousness, and he was called the friend of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord tested him, and you know what I'm saying, he was found faithful. You see then how that by works a man is justified, and not by faith alone. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord going to test you, man. The Lord going to try you, man. You know what I'm saying? By your works. You know what I'm saying? You gotta show forth that you truly believe, man. And when you do be tried, you know what I'm saying, don't be faint-hearted, man. You know what I'm saying? Read Sirach chapter 2. Ecclesiasticus chapter 2. My son, if thou comest to the Lord, prepare thy heart. It's like prepare thy soul for temptation, man. Apostle Gabar told us to, told us to remember that whole chapter by heart, man. You know what I'm saying? Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, make no haste in time of trouble. You see down that by works some men justified and all of it. Come. Likewise also. Come. That's verse 26. For as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead also, man. So without the body, without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead also, man. So you gotta do the work. Let me read this real quick. And, it's like Acts chapter 9. Verse 5. For like as all that is made in the world have the beginning and the end is manifest. Even so the times also the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works and endings and end effects and signs. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby ye have believed. You see? Escaped by his works and by faith whereby ye have believed, shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I sanctified them for me from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? So, you see, like we just read in 2 Corinthians chapter 2, man. I mean, marry and have an abundance, man. The Lord gonna preserve you. Keep you from the said perils, man. These said perils are gonna consume the world, man. You know what I'm saying? The unrighteous, the wicked of this world. They're gonna destroy these people, these dumbass niggas, and these dumbass people, man, and these heathens, man. All the way up to the point of Babylon the Great being destroyed by missiles, man. And you're gonna see the salvation. You know what I'm saying, in the Lord, in within his borders, man. That's our hope, man. Man, come on, man. That's pretty much the main points I want to get for the lesson. So I pray and hope that your brothers and sisters find satisfying. Until next time, I say shalom.